Welcome to our channel, our shared space here on YouTube, Natural Connection with the Shaman. I'm here live again with Jamie Jette, our divine prophetess sister, and we are going to get into some topics today that might twist your minds a little and open them. So before I go rambling on, let Jamie introduce herself. Go ahead and say hello, Jamie.
Hi, my name is Jamie Jette. I am co-owner of Shangri-La over here on the east side, and my husband Bob and I, we have this this purpose on planet. We discovered that, or the universe delivered it about 12 years ago, and so we just want to raise the vibration one soul at a time. I'm a co-collaborator with Stargate Sound Medicine with Katie Rose, and together there's magic that's happening at the ceremonies that we facilitate. And yeah, we've got our all next year planned, and we're finalizing our first retreat. It's in February for Valentine's Day, about inner self love. So stay tuned.
Inner self love. That's great. And I got to tell you, I attend almost every one of her sound baths and healing ceremonies, and they are phenomenal. Sometimes you get a body healing, sometimes all of your chi energy activates, and you just leave there with goosebumps all over. Sometimes you go deep into visual. Hello, Rightco. You go deep into visual meditation, connect with quantum lifetimes that we will be getting into. They do a lot of magical stuff over there, and very warm and open-hearted people. They've been really inspiration in my life for the last year and a half, almost 2 years, huh? It's been a while. So I'm really glad to be doing these podcasts with her too. And before we get into our quantum connection, I was moved. I do every morning a very simple routine. I tap into the date, the numbers, the planet of what day of the week it is, and the whole esoterica is what I call it. But when I got to this card, it moved me very deep. And Pluto went direct last night around 11 a.m. and midnight in the morning. So this is what I'm saying Pluto's message is. It's a divine masculine oracle, Midas, King Midas. We all know the story about King Midas, where everything he touches turns into gold. And if you've paid attention to that story, you'll know that he was kind of hit with a little bit of bad medicine. He requested from Dionysus that everything he touched be turned to gold. And he was having the joy of his life, turning everything into gold. When he sat down to eat, he realized he turned his food into gold. He couldn't drink water. He turned that into gold. And it was only when he finally touched his beloved daughter that he turned her into a statue of gold, that he begged for Dionysus to take the gift away. Now, his message today, what I liked about it the most is that, oh, I forgot to highlight. What I really liked about King Midas's message about turning everything into gold is you cannot turn your shadows into gold. And let's get into this really quick. Divine Masculine Midas. Where am I choosing to prioritize my valuable time and energy? The chase is often more about the experience or the emotion than the actual attainment of the object. Build a life I am content with based on my daily functioning of my reality. Then, when big things happen and they don't fix all of your problems, it won't be such a massive letdown. Joy is a temporary peak that is more noticeable with contrasting emotions. Good feelings fluctuate, and that's okay. Pursue happiness while also considering that you may be trying to bypass other emotions. Fearing negative is limiting. Trying to run towards the positive is a form of resistance. It is only when you find satisfaction in the mundane that you can chase the marvelous. Relish in small daily pleasures and routines that feel good to me. Desiring things in hopes to fill a hole in life is not going to help. Most times it is only the chase you are enjoying, not what they think they will attain once they get the object. Happiness pinned on receiving something never turns one's shadows into gold. Have you ever attained something and instead of happiness, you were actually disappointed? This is why enjoying a simple life makes any attainment feel like a treasure, because every day brings joy into your life, not an object, a title, or a dollar amount. So this just really moved me this morning when I was doing our esoterica. And when me and Jamie were talking, she started talking about that. Every day is a blessing, and it makes anything else the cherry on top. So how did that sound to you, Jamie?
It sounds great. I um, I have a lot of feelings about that, but it doesn't resonate for me as far as Midas because I look at it, but I didn't know the story. So thank you so much for sharing that story. I just know that King Midas, everything he touches turns to gold because that's an old saying here around the house. But I like the story because it's almost a humbling one that, it sounds as if attaining something outside of oneself is we're thinking it's and that's it, and that's what's going to make me happy to have all the gold in the world when with it sounds like the story and the experience of King Midas is that he realized in the humbling fact is it's all within, it's all inside, it's all there are certain things, just the beauty of being able to hold his daughter, or to bite into a luscious red apple or to drink that savory water. All of a sudden, those are priceless. So, yeah, good card today. Thank you.
That card kind of reminded me of addiction. Um, like this is kind of quantum connections with all things. One thing can mean infinite possibilities. That's why when I read tarot for anybody, I tell them, remember, my story may just be a parable that unfolds in your brain a different way. And to me, it reminded me of addiction, like, and how the more I would chase after things, how he lost the pleasure in taste, he lost the pleasure in drink, and he lost the pleasure of connecting with his family. So I looked at it like that, and I remember addiction, and I would chase and chase and chase and chase. And it wasn't always substances. I was addicted to money. I was addicted to raising my position at work. I was addicted to my reputation on the streets. I used to be known as a knockout artist, and I had all these addictions. But what really hit me is when I was selling substances, and my customer was some very high end escorts, and they made, I mean, six figures every year, no problem. They had more money than they knew what to do with. But I asked her one day, I go, wow, you must love your life. And she's like, why do you think I have a $300 a day habit? I don't feel anything. And when she said that to me, it stopped me in my tracks. And I remember I just thought, wow, when's the last time I really felt something? And I remember telling my ex-wife at the time, I'm like, what she said, I've realized I've lost that feeling. And so it was from addiction that I had to. So, like King Midas's story, one thing I love about the divine masculines, we teach from the hard road. We have already bumped our head millions of times. So it's from our darkness that we shine light, not from our praise and glory. It's from all of our failures that we rose from to say, hey, look, there's a new day. Taste this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ah,
Like that. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yeah, brush those goosebumps.
right.
So, you want to dive into quantum connection? Show me the
Yeah.
way.
So quantum connection.
Hello, I'm still here. John's camera must have shut off for a second, but he'll be right back. Anyway, we wanted to talk about quantum connection and um, for myself, or quantum interdimensional um, receptivity, if you will. So, yeah, I told you he'd be back.
1111.
So, how do you want to dive into this? Do you want to just dive into the quantum entanglement, or the fact that we are connecting, and like our channels are open and we're connecting continuously all the time? Um,
Yeah. So like quantum, let's start with like parallel realities. Every time we've had a choice to make a decision, we split our reality into parallel timelines. So it's only fair to understand that every decision that you made, the opposite has also been made. So, in such, we are in connection with all of those timelines, ourselves, and all the people involved in our life throughout all those infinite realities. So when I kind of consider this like a fourth dimensional connection, where we may be communicating with ourselves on different timelines who made the right decisions or the wrong decisions, and we're here at center, what we believe is center, and we're connected and gaining guidance by like, oh, no, 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 we made this decision before, go that way. And it just continues on, like everything that we believe has created an egregore. An egregore is what we call the collective, right? The collective is combined energies of what we, me and you, together we've formed an egregore. This is a connection of how me and Jamie communicate. Me, you, Katie, Bob, Cheryl, that's a whole different egregore. And in between, so for all of those connections that we've formed, and then we go more largely to our neighborhood, to our families, our neighborhood, our city, our state, our country, and then finally our globe, we are tapped into the quantum. What I call quantum is another word for infinite. So remember, we were talking last week about how Bashar says how to receive information in the present moment, instantaneously. That is a quantum connection to invisible realms that usually aren't able to be seen unless you're in meditation, in trance, or on psychedelics of some sort, right? But if
or
you
in
know,
dreamland.
or what?
Or in dreamland.
Oh,
You
in
can also
dreamland.
visit, travel in your dreams with that, um, which is a lot of fun, because I interjected because I know I'm like, I don't do psychedelics, I don't do any of that. Music, vibration, and dreams does that for myself. So I'd be kind of curious to see what your listeners, how, if anything, which way they have um, felt that quantum message, like, oh God, I've been here before. They call it deja vu. So that'd be kind of fun. Anyway,
Yeah, if any of you in the chat have had any of those, especially dream messages, I was kind of going off on a tangent. Thank you for interjecting. It kind of saved me. The dreams are the number one. Our first awareness of life beyond death is the dream. There is no other way for me to interpret life beyond death besides the dream because it's so real. How about you? You got any dream experiences you want to talk about?
oh gosh, I've written so many journals, but thanks to Cheryl saying, asking, why don't I ask in my dream, which I thought was very interesting. Um, so I started doing that. That's a new practice for me. But yeah, I've been astro traveling for a long time, since I was a little girl in my dreams. I didn't know what it was, but now that perhaps maybe because I have more time, or I give myself more time, that um, I'm able to ask questions and then go into the dream state. And I do get answers. It's really cool. Meditation, of course, does that. But my understanding with this new quantum discovery, I mean, even Einstein had said that it was something spooky, where you can have two cells that vibrate at the same. And he said nothing could travel faster than light. And now they're proving our thoughts, our consciousness, which is not just inside of our skull, actually, and there's something called heart map. I don't know anything about it, but this is, I'm learning little bits that I need to, that somehow we are able to, once our cells vibrate, it vibrates just like that to another cell. And it doesn't matter where that cell is across the globe or in the universe, it changes. If they'll always vibrate at the same frequency. So that's what's so cool for me, this new discovery is, could you imagine just in our day, 2025, that we going forward to on this jumping board, this activating jumping board into this new civilization, that we can actually collectively vibrate ourselves with love and peace. There's studies, John. Oh my gosh, there's so many studies. But I guess right now I'm just doing it with myself, because um, I want to know more. I want to tap in to the invisible. I mean, when you close your eyes, you still see something. I have a lot of friends who are seers, but the invisible, I mean, even if you rub your hands like this, you can feel
Right.
the energy. That's invisible. There's so much beyond this galaxy and in this galaxy, but the best part, it's all right here in here. So,
Right.
yeah.
And it is, and that's how we change the vibration of the earth. This is really important when it comes to how do we want to vibrate, right? Do we want to vibrate on no, we want to vibrate on good times, happy feelings, positive things. And that can be done. So when we talk about vibrating higher, right? It is only when we kind of slow ourselves down, I find, that we actually vibrate higher. Because if we're moving, we reduce some of that higher energy vibration that we're sending out into the universe. And it's true, we do. I've had dreams where I am in a parallel reality with the family that I have now, friends and experiences, and we're just living this timeline, right? And then when I wake up, I'll have like my daughter call me. She'll be like, "Were you in my?" And we'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, we were together in these same dreams." So it's something that it's not spooky. I know Einstein calls it spooky math, but it's like that cat in the box type thing. Everything does exist until you expose it. The quantum intent. What is that? What is that? Photon experiment. Like everything is possible until you open the box. Then that's the only thing possible. Schrodinger's cat is called. So
Yeah, there's just so much. I'm just so grateful to be alive right now, because of the information that is available for us. You know, it's not the mentality. And I think the quantum, I love the part of the quietness, and that's true. There's a strength in the stillness and in the silence that is, it's almost like um, it's like the edge of going into something infinitely potential and possible. in the silence, okay? But, I I really think a lot of it, again, has to go with what you're feeling. We talked about this, a while ago. When you walk in a room, you can feel energy. We're all energy. Everything is energy. And so when we are vibrating or feeling, and inside of us, it's a peace and a love. Wow, you can tell those people when they walk in a room, you can feel it. But then the naysayers who are holding on to their fear and I call it their Louis Vuittons or their Gucci bags. They hold on to them because that's their baggage. But now is the time. Now is the time and the opportunity to unpack all that old BS belief system.
Yeah.
Unpack, get rid of those old underwear that you had when you were in kindergarten. They don't belong to you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Part of that belief systems now, like you said, we get to make the decision. I really believe that that's where the free will comes in. That is that's one of our many, many gifts that we have, is that free will to make the decision. Am I going to wake up today and say, even before I get out of bed, just, I am a part of all of this. Wow. I mean, if you start your day like that, holy shit, that, I mean, bring it. It's almost like a soaring. But if I laid there and said, "Oh my gosh, what is so and so going to think, and how's this going to unfold? And what am I going to do about this, Bill?" Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make that
I
conscious choice every morning when I wake up because, you know, I have injuries. So when I open my eyes and I feel, I first thing I say is, "Oh, thank you for this bed." Like, and that conscious choice really does make it. That's what I kind of gathered out of King Midas's message. It's those little decisions. Walking through my door, thank you for this home, man. I missed you home. Like, waking up, just going, oh, I'm so glad it's another day. I actually had that yesterday because of before Pluto going direct. Yesterday was, the energy was kind of pushy. So I made the decision last night to do zazen, seated meditation, and very simple form, and then some tai chi afterwards. And it changed the entire vibration of my whole reality. So it is those things. We make the conscious decisions to make our world a better place. Katie also said something I didn't get to. Katie said, I have heart math equipment. I can tell you more about it. I have practiced over 1 year Heart Math Institute. Wow, that sounds interesting.
Well, see how you're still building relationships. I'm getting to know you.
Right?
Sweet, Kiki.
And she
Wow.
also she also said brain waves and heart rate link and sync. It's also closely connected to maintaining regulation of your emotions, the ability to respond versus react. The equipment
Mm.
allows you to track each session. And then Sunny Moonbeam said hello. And Bethany Banks said, hey, 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 hey. And Right O said hello. So thank you guys for joining in the chat. Taking a little time from what she said about responding versus react. Really big on quantum connections. Because when we react, right? Or yeah, when we react, it's usually a timeline that we're connected to that's still attached to that fight versus flight energy. But I used to make fun of it. Used to be a thing. I would tell people that's why I smoke, so I don't react. Okay, now let me retort. So that little pause If you can make a pause before any reaction, you are changing emotional frequencies. There's
Yeah,
something
they
I
say
do.
3 breaths. They say take. In this house, we count to 3,000. And if my husband says, I got to count to 30, ooh, he's going to react. So you got to just walk away.
Well, that's funny you say that. That's what Zazen, seated meditation, is really simple. And it starts off by you take, you count your breaths from 1 to 10, but you only count the exhale. And then you
Oh,
do that for 5 minutes. Then, after 5 minutes of counting 1 to 10, then you count 1 through 25 for 5 minutes. And then the final 5 minutes is counting 1 to 50. Now, the beauty of that meditation is it's bringing you into focused awareness where you have to be honest with yourself. And it was funny, like I put one on to help guide me through it because the mind loves to wander. And when I'm up on the level 50 and I'm counting 25, 40, 40, nope, I have to start all over again. One, two. And that's what Zazen meditation is so good for. It brings you right back to like, it's okay to mess up, just be here. So that's you guys might like that Zazen meditation. It's really fun and really simple. 15 minutes of counting numbers helps that monkey mind from going all those infinite time. Now, here's another thing. Like I've told you, I go to that place in the underworld, right? And usually it's when I have like family and friends and reality that are suffering with a lot of things they've brought me. I'll go to the underworld and I don't even have to speak out loud. I'll either play my drum or burn something and allow the things to go to spirit, and then I receive from the other side, whether that be the clouds forming the images that I need to see to bring an answer back, or a bird landing in front of me and eating a lizard and showing me like some metaphor of how to bring medicine back to the people. That is also a form of quantum connection that has been around way before physics. Shamanism is everything is alive, everything has a life. So when you can detach from the city or the world, I find everything that I need down there. And when I come back, usually I don't even have to bring the medicine. The reality has already shifted and the
mhm.
timelines are different. It's a strange practice. I'll have to take you there one day.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Well, there's so much unfolding now with the quantum interdimensional, um, whether it be like with when you hear, I'm thinking it's moving into this dimension where I'm telling myself something or someone is trying to give us a message, send a message that's really, really important. That's why there's so many people that are waking up to this idea. I mean, you hear people walk by and a book flies off the shelf. Well, I'm not sure that it was my mind that caused that to do, but I just say, okay, thank you. I guess I'm supposed to read this. And it's uncanny, like you said, with the license plates and all these different things the other day at one of your readings. Yeah, I believe that is where the interdimensional, whether, and I truly believe we can change our past, even though they say don't look at it. Well, I got to know what weed is the cause that is giving me the effect that I have right now of the fear. So with this interdimensional, I'm kind of been doing an experiment because I love to do that. And what is happening is the reality is we are. all consciousness. We are all of this, believe it or not. And so when I vibrate my one cell in this ambiotic universe, if you will, it I'm testing on sharing my thoughts and my communicate to the other side and the invisible, if you will, or to the feeling that I'm getting. So whether it is on TV, my new thing is, because we don't watch TV. I don't know, and maybe we can dive down this rabbit hole another time for near-death experiences. But I'm getting a lot of information from what is happening, and like I said, I think that's why, as light workers, it's our job, our mission on this planet is to help people realize that you are miraculous.
Yeah.
I am miraculous. We hold the universe inside of us, and we've come so far away from when the scientific testing is how limiting that they really thought that we only had it right here, only right here, where now they're saying that they connect and all of this connects. Holy cow, I tell everybody, buckle up, man, because what a trip that our reality is almost transmuting into the reality of reality. How did I say that?
Yeah. You got, well, like one point you've made is about changing your past. And it is actually a practice to go back to a point in your life where you made one of those decisions that split reality, right? So we go back to that moment and we see what was the wound, right? But not just focus on the wound. Step back, look at, let's just say the child. Look at the child, look around the surroundings, and look for something positive to bring to that child when you're in that moment. This is a meditation practice that changes quantum realities. And it's like a domino effect. When you come out of that meditation, you may not notice it instantaneously, but as you go about your week, you'll notice subtle changes in the reality around you have happened. And that's because you went back, and you know how when you're a kid, you're so focused on the spanking, let's say. You get a spanking and you're just all consumed in that spanking, and you didn't realize like you had all these wonderful delights. So say you go back in time to when you got spanked and you're just sitting there crying, and you go, "Hey, look what I got. I've got a shiny new crystal for you," right? And in that meditation the child stops crying and it's like, "Oh, but I got a crystal." The rest of your week you would see signs like you're talking about unfold, because reality does unfold from us within our mind. Let me tell Mother Nature really quick. Thank you for tuning in. I wish there was some delights growing up. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's what we practice on. We practice, it's called healing the inner child, and it is a magician practice. You don't really see it much in healing circles. They kind of focus on staying wounded so that they have, you know, some
Uh,
practice to keep going. So,
um, I I did go to a course. They teach it at the center that I go to, and it's called Quantum Process. And we did do that. I got to go and I got it. It was a 6 week course. It was really interesting. But there are courses now. There's a big movement in this quantum process healing, and they've spent years um, making it work for people. And I know I experienced where I was able to go back into a certain part of my life and realize that, wow, I don't have to have that belief. So we got to rewrite the story, if you will, rewrite the reality. It was pretty cool, John.
yeah, well, my first Mother Nature says, I've been working on it myself lately, trying to get to the root cause of some personal trauma. Ain't it some bullshit? Yeah, it's, well, here, that kind of goes into the story I'm going to tell right now. My very first spiritual, I didn't know it at the time, but my very first spiritual encounter happened when I was a young boy. I was only 5 years old, and I was in my room crying, and the whole room had filled with white clouds. And I know it now to be my future self, where it's a version of myself that I haven't even reached yet. Went
Wow.
back in time, walked through them clouds, placed his hand on my 5 year old shoulder, or 4 year old, and said, everything's going to be all right. Now, the trip is, I didn't know what it was at the time, but he brought a creature with him, a small little creature. And the creature's name was Sam. And we used to joke, Sam I am, Sam I am. Well, that creature stayed with me for my whole life. And really, until I learned its really real name was Samael. Samael is the left hand of God, the wrath or the venom of God, but also the medicine of God. So recently, I remember I came to you when this kind of rippled through my timelines. I go, why would my highest self bring the leader of the darkness to me as a child? And it was because I needed to build strength where that wound was, to be able to fight darkness my entire life. It was a really huge revelation for that. So I have personally experienced a version of myself who's I'm not even at, going back to me as a child. So that's kind of some quantum connection shit right there,
My gosh, yes.
right?
Wow.
And that was
Wow.
like, that experience was the catalyst for my whole entire life to be interested in the occult. I mean, and then I was only 4 years old, mind you. I hadn't even started school. But after that moment, I used to grab my mom's Bible, ask a question, and flip it open. And whatever was right there was my answer. That was the catalyst. Like, this little creature was with me all the time. So it's like, look at the sky, look at the sky, and there'd be beings in the sky. Look in the bark of the tree, and there'd be words written in the trees. It was just the catalyst for my entire life. And like I used to tell everybody, when I was growing up, it wasn't so popular. You were literally cuckoo if you talked the way we do now. Like, it was a hidden practice. If you played with the Ouija board, it was a hidden practice. If you meditated, it's a hidden practice. I remember lighting incense and people thought I was a devil worshiper. So that's how quantum connection can actually help. So Mother Nature, Nicole Chacon is one of my good friends. The meditation on going back to your most traumatic times in life, and even if all you can do is hug that child and say, I love you, you know, like, it's weird. You know, it just popped in my head. Tell that version of yourself, I love you. Is that enough? So, Mother Nature, that's a personal channeling for you. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, gosh, thank you for that share. I hear stories of people having those kind of experiences. Um, man, I guess, I guess, um, my team, my guardian angels and mystics and all the guides around me know that maybe because I am so emotional, or maybe in this lifetime, I've seen enough in other lifetimes that I don't need to experience that sight. But it's more for myself. It's I'm allowing it. And I think if your listeners start a couple new practices of, okay, I always say it's a petri dish. This whole universe is called university. Hello, for myself. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Is it going, some days you're going to learn something and some days you're not. And all of a sudden, when you experience something or experiment, then that didn't work, then you go back and you try it again. So um, I, I really invite people just to sit and think about um, seeing if your thoughts, perhaps send them to everybody that's here on the thread. Just send the thoughts of love, the quantum cell of love from your consciousness and your heart. Just send it. We're all connected right now. There is no denying that. It is all connected. And so sending out this cell of the vibration of love, and then just try it with this circle. And then perhaps try it at home with your plants or even with your water. I could go down a rabbit hole because I love talking about water.
Yeah.
Um, Start telling and reminding your body, it's all, if I'm going to talk to cells across around in this circle, we're able to talk to the cells within our body. That's where a lot of healing happens. A lot of awakening happens. A lot of peace happens. And so that that essence of what you want, you already are. It's just allowing yourself to feel the vibration. Talk to yourselves. Okay, I'm really grateful for what I put in because I assimilate and I eliminate. This bodysuit that holds the universe knows exactly what to do. I don't have to tell it, but I'm going to go ahead and have a conversation with you.
Right.
That we can't see the invisible, but we know it's there. We know our blood cells are there. We know that this functionality is inside here. So imagine, just imagine all that possibility in talking to that which we don't see out there in the quantum world
Right.
and visible, sending love, embodying it, feeling it. Just what does it feel like? Does it feel like the softness of a breeze on your skin? Or does it feel the softness of touching a bunny or a cat? Or uh, find something that allows you to feel that and then hold on to it, tap into it. And that's part of the quantum interdimensional connection.
It's funny you say that because I used to charge myself up like that, right? And I went through a period of just isolation. Just after my divorce, I didn't want any friends or family or anyone in my life. But I would charge myself up with that love, that feeling, and that high, just where I knew I was vibrating beyond control. And I would go downtown on Fremont, and I would call it gray walking because I would just wear a hoodie, walk through the crowds, and I would feel my way. And then when I knew I could I would touch people. And so this one time, the only one time I got a response, usually people just smiled. This one time, this guy, he was really on heroin really bad. And I touched him and he like woke up and he says, "What did you just do to me? What did you just do to me?" And he was like freaking out. And I go, "I just gave you some love, my friend." He went from this to fully alert and awake and like life back in his eyes just from being charged with love. So you can do that practice. And like you said, so it wasn't Mother Nature, but we had other friends in our podcast group. And it used to be a practice of mine. I would connect with somebody that lived like in Kentucky. And I would tell her, lay down and meditate. And I'll meditate. And I want you to try to see what's in my living room, and I'm going to try to see what's in your living room from our perspectives. And you can do this. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. Like at first, when me and this one girl from Kentucky were doing it, everything that was light colored in her room was black. in my vision. But she said I described everything to a T. The shorts she was wearing, the couch she was laying on, the television, the stand, the pictures on the wall, everything. So it's just about practicing.
Was isn't that remote viewing?
That is actually um, not telekinesis, telepathic connection, because you're seeing it through their eyes. It's like body shifting. I would enter her body and look through her eyes. So I couldn't see her face, but I could see her shorts. I could see her legs and her hands laying on her couch, and she could see through mine, and I was laying on my bed. So it's kind of like I know some in the witch society we call it shift magic, where we enter another's body. But since we are all consciousness, it is possible. Just takes practice,
I've experienced it. It was awesome, man.
right?
I went into this lady's house. I described her pictures of her grandkids on the wall. I was blown away. That just blew my mind. I said, oh, but it was a meditation. It was a led meditation, and there was a group of us. So it is possible. I couldn't tell you the name of her to save my life right now, but yeah, it is badass. If anybody, I don't know the name of it, the technical name, but that would be kind of cool. So that's called, that's part of the quantumness.
Yeah, because we're all one consciousness. Like you said, reality unfolds. We believe it's solid, right? We believe it's tangible. No, it all unfolds out of what we believe in our mind. So if we were to change the sky to be purple, if collectively we got together and collectively charged the energy that the sky is purple, the motherfucking sky would be. I used to tell a lot of people when the big alien thing was coming through. I'm like, well, look, if you're focusing on aliens because the news is telling you that they're here, then you're manifesting it for them. You're creating it for them, and they use media like a quantum manifestation mirror. So they get us to believe the hype, and then we go out there and we spew it into reality, and then we complain that it's there.
And the thing is, people don't realize it works on our subliminal, and the subliminal does not know right, wrong, good, bad. It just does not. And so somehow they, the media, they, or okay, there's another conversation another time, but they are tapped into it. They already know that. And
Oh
yet
yeah,
we have so many of the collective that back in the, I mean, we have black and white. When I grew up as a kid, on the television, it was television. It was a vision that they wanted you to know. Well, my God, they found out it worked. So let's just reprogram all the cells. So now again, those cells are going into, and it's vibrating. And if it's a, it's all about creating a fear. It's all about inducing a fear. And if one cell is vibrating fearfully, guess what? The others are going to vibrate, and they're all of a sudden you have 100 cells that are vibrating in the frequency of fear. When all of a sudden, somebody like you and me in our circle, and there's so many hundreds of people that are saying,
yes,
no,
yeah,
fear is crippling. Fear is debilitating. Fear is induced by someone else. It's not what you and I and everyone else was made of. Love is what we are made of. It is the pureness within us. I mean, we were conceived from love. I'm telling myself the universe was created. I mean, you look at it with these eyes and it's just pure, effortless love.
there's a
So,
psychological there's a psychological term about an acronym for the word fear: false experiences appearing real. So And that is true. We get fed it and then we create it. It's and all like we said, it's just about making that decision to wake up and instead of saying, "Oh my god, I got this to do." Wake up and just fake it till it feels right. Fake it until it feels right. God, thank you for this morning. Thank
Yeah.
you for this morning. And I remember when I was reprogramming my mind, I was really embarrassed to listen to morning affirmations. Waking up and listening to, I am so grateful. Not everyone. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Some people were conceived through force and violence, but at the core, reality is kind of strung together by a God. So those
That's true. I didn't think of that. Thank you, Mother Nature. But my understanding is that um, that we are co-creating, but there is a a collective in the ocean, and as one cell is being created, um, I I'm I can't question why um, why some are conceived by certain acts of violence. But I have to really trust. This is where my conviction of trust in a higher presence than myself has got a reason. And like, if those people that weren't, for some reason, they are here on this planet, they chose that vessel. Maybe there wasn't any vessels at the time. I don't know. I could go into some kind of off the wall beatnik shit. But we don't see it. It's not to us. It's for us or for the collective. So that experience with that person, somehow, if all of us are igniting and vibrating love around this person who was created through and out of violence, I'm telling myself it shall dissolve that idea of the vessel, and let's get on to work. We got work to do. There's a mission that all of us have, and that is to wake people up that we have a paradise planet here, and there are so many that are wanting to enter. And yeah, so for those who
yeah,
thought were conceived, and thank you again, Mother Nature, for bringing that up to my attention, is that I'm in one of the true convicted believers that even with our hearts and our thoughts, that can dissolve and ignite a flame that you were born with, or that person was born with, or I was born with. It ignites. And once you start that flame and that fire, there is no stopping it. Sure, there's going to snuff it, but what happens? There's too many of us collective that we're going to reignite it again.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's like this. Throughout my life, I've experienced a lot of violence. I've experienced a lot of death. I've experienced a lot of but that's because it was a purpose to ignite that spiritual warrior in me. I could have chose after my mental breakdown, I could have chose to really put that hurt back into the world. But what I did is I chose to start putting forgiveness back. And I got to tell you, forgiving things that are unforgivable is powerful, extremely powerful. Yeah, exactly. The past does help. You are an inspiration to so many people, Mother Nature. Like, you don't understand when you say to those people, if nobody's told you lately, you're doing great. I remember for years, just people, everyone in our little group always, but it was funny because meditation, man, lots of dudes would fall in love with you because you brought a little bit of light into their life. And they were like, sometimes when the Me and a friend had a joke. Sometimes when you open someone's heart chakra, they fall in love with you, and you're like, "Oh shit, no, that's not what I meant." But I mean, at least you instilled that good into some. So that's what I see too. Is I see we go through certain things because, like, look, my higher self gave me a demon. Why? So that I can overcome darkness. How can
Mm,
you overcome the darkness unless you can walk in the pits of hell yourself and come through whistling and smoking a cigarette?
yeah.
You know, we have to use our powers in certain ways. In magic, it's proven fact that your magic doesn't work unless there's a deep emotional attachment. So that's how we ignite our power. Of course, I remember that. I have a long memory, but it's my short term that really I I struggle with short term memory loss after my stroke and half of my brain shut off the right way. I had to rebuild it, so that's kind of why I stay in tune with tarot flashcards and tarot cards. If you're having trouble remembering things, they keep that rhythm going in your mind to keep the synapses firing. You awaken that and like lion's mane's mushroom too in your coffee. But just a simple fact, if you played with tarot cards, you're forcing your mind to remember things. So it keeps my short term memory from like completely disappearing. But yeah, other than that, I have a very long memory for the past. Once it's in there for life.
Yeah, that's Bob. And my husband, it's amazing. I get blown away and I'm like, I don't have any space in this computer. I don't really wish to hold on to a lot of that kind of memory. And then there's times that things come up. So I think that's um, part of the connection of allowing to my space to be able to be open for these interdimensional messages that I continuously keep getting. So anyway,
Well,
yeah,
that's
I
like we can give storage, like just like a computer. You know how we can actually make storage files? We can give storage to other dimensional versions of ourselves by unloading it into their browser and saying, hold on to this for me. Then, if ever needed, like it's instantaneously because it's in a memory bank that's already connected to our quantum selves. And I think that's what happens more because like some of the stuff I've studied over my life, you it won't come up unless I need to know that information. So I always believe my unconscious has it stored in one of them versions of me running around living that life. So anybody got any questions in the chat? Like we're coming up on an hour here. So thank you guys. First of all, let me take this time to thank you guys for coming onto the channel. I know Mother Nature, you're getting ready for work, so I really appreciate you coming on. And just to let you know that YouTube has helped me over my life the past 10, 13 years, I think. It's helped me overcome a lot because it gives me a platform to speak about these things. Whereas I used to hold all this information within, and I never got to connect with wonderful people like Jamie Jette, Mother Nature, Cheryl, Katie. This has really been something that has been moving for me. So it's you guys that I appreciate because you're the ones that listen to all this information. So thank you. And what about you, Jamie? You got anything to say?
yeah, and for those who are listening now or checking in later, I invite you to just keep experimenting, but really try it. Try just these simple words in the morning before you wake up, even before your feet hit the bed, and just remember that self-realization that I am part of all of this. I want you to try it. Uh, I I just I just love experimenting. I mean, right now. It's just nonstop. it really, life is nonstop. Buckle up. It's just the time equation. Like, if Einstein were here, oh my, maybe we should channel him and tap him say on the shoulder.
That's
Anyway,
amazing. We're good.
now it's coming alive and it's available right here, right now. So that's all I want to say. And thank you for allowing me to share my passion for helping people. So thank you, John.
Absolutely. And Jamie just started her own channel, Stargate Medicine. Is it? You want to say which that one is?
Well, we're still in the we're ironing out the wrinkles, because I want to collaborate if it is going to be with Stargate, or if it's going to be my inspirational one, where we go and look into the shadow side of ourselves and know that there is light in the shadow. I think I really would like to reflect on all the conversations that are coming up, and all the messages, and I really want to talk about impermanence. So I'm not sure if that's what I want to talk about. Let's. This isn't it. This
No,
is.
this is only
So
the beginning.
yeah, there's a couple of ideas noodling around. I keep asking for the answer. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
But thank you for the inspiration, because somebody last week asked what the channel was, and I really thought they meant what's the channel to tap into the universe.
So for now, just tap into Jamie Jette, Goddess Tatiana, through meditation and connect with her. And I'm sure as soon as she decides which channel she's going to use, I will put them out on my channel as introduction. And Mother Nature, she has a streaming channel where she hangs out with people, allows people to come in a chat, give them a fun place to just be, like she's she's fun, she's inspirational, she's musical, and if you knew her story like I do, she has fought to get to where she is, and I'm damn proud of her. Like, so Mother Nature, if you're in the chat, the other people, check her channel out. I think it's Mother Nature's Cookies or something like that. But
Okay, can she drop it into the comments? Because I go back afterwards. And then I'll also put Katie in our website, Stargate, stargatemedicine.com. So,
yeah, and
yeah.
then it's a little premature, but Anura Lab is going to be a collaborator with the channel. They are wonderful. They've really been helping me with my health. My blood sugars have been phenomenal ever since I started working with them. So very proud to have them collaborating with me. So those are some of
Yeah,
the
it's good times coming. Good times. A collective is reigniting, and that old saying, "We the people." I really, really believe that we the people. It's we're not the puppet and the patriarchal days are coming to an end. Thank you for coming to the party, but bye bye,
right.
because we are now um, love dissolves and love dissolves and dissipates everything that is not made of it, and that is really what I truly believe. I've I just know that because there are these NDEs. They keep talking about is the experience of such love that you can't even describe. So you could talk about the egg and the sperm and all that stuff, and that's not love. There is something else, and I really think like can't wait to talk to Katie about that heart math.
Yeah, because like from experience in NDE myself, it is, and it's undescribable. And that feeling when you transfer to the other side, it took me 8 years coming back, and I was searching for every drug out there to even get close to that feeling that I felt when I left. I did not want to be back. It was so powerful. But over the years and bringing myself back to health, my cognitive function back in alignment, I realized that was a taste so that I know when we do go for real for the good time, there's nothing to fear. and I've learned to not fear death. I used to be terrified about dying because I remembered before that moment when I did cross over, I just didn't want to die. This is what made me so strong. Like when I would fight, my fear of losing the fight and dying was what usually made me win the fight. But afterwards, that bliss is so that is what God is to me. God is not a man, it's not a woman, it's not Jesus, it's not Odin, it's not Krishna, it's none of these names that we give it. It is that feeling when I transferred over. That's what I believe God to be. And everything in our reality.
Uh,
So if that love is even if that love is in the harshest of dictators on earth, it's still a part of God. So just look for the love in it, send that love back to it, and at least for yourself, you feel better.
yeah. Pay attention to the experiments. My husband Bob, he told a story how he was interacting with a woman who was extremely mean at dispatch, and he was the driver for a soda company, and everybody just dreaded going through her dispatch through the gate. And he said, let's try something. So he actually did. He said, and he said, I know this is going to sound really crazy, and this is in the 90s. And he said, let's pretend and just blow pink and red hearts, just blow her hearts. And boy, the guys tried it, and the demonstration, she was never the same. She was a different person after that. So give it a try. I invite all of your subscribers and newcomers to just give it a try. What the hell do you got to lose?
Do it. It really works. He told me that story recently too. And it is now a funny story about things like that. There was a time in my life, and sometimes I still go back to it because we have all this cell phone and digital, solar technology that monitors. I used to believe, like, wait a minute, she must have been like listening to us through our cell phone because it really does work. You wish the good things or you talk about something and then you go somewhere and you notice that they're doing exactly what you said or retorting on what you spoke about. So if you know that that happens, if you know that you want to buy a Mustang and you start seeing Mustangs anywhere, start knowing that embodying love and positive happiness. And boom, watch it come out. Ripple. All right, guys. Well, I had a great time with you, and we're going to call it quits. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll do this again next Tuesday. So, with that, take care. Bye bye. Talk to you in a little bit, Jamie. Okay. And